And on this Saturday morning, another Benghazi bombshell. Fox News has learned that multiple requests for help were denied during the deadly consulate attack. And now there's word that Senate hearings on Libya won't be held until after the election. Governor Mike Huckabee is here to weigh in on the suspicious timing of that.
Well, we're getting more information out of Libya this morning, and the U.S. consulate there now telling Fox News that CIA operatives had asked for, on 3 different occasions, help to go in and to try to rescue the ambassador, the embattled individuals there at the consulate building as that information was unfolding. And on 2 different occasions, while they were radioing back to get the movement and the approval, they were told to, quote, stand down and not go in.
And these are sources who discuss this with Jennifer Griffin. The government has denied that this, in fact, happened, although she has stood by her sources, her strong reliable sources on that story.
We want to bring in Governor Mike Huckabee now from Little Rock to talk about all of this. Governor, why would these operators, CIA operators, who wanted to go in and save lives be told to stand down?
You know, it's the most amazing story. And let me just say that our Fox News team, Jennifer Rosen, Catherine Harridge, James Rosen, and many others have done yeoman's work on getting this story out. The fact is that there's a conflict in these guys. They know they're to obey orders, but the other thing, they're trained to do one thing, and that's respond to an emergency and go into it. And here they are, ready to go and save lives, help people, secure a compound at the consulate, and they're told to stand down. These are questions that deserve an answer. I spoke with Lindsey Graham yesterday on my radio show. He has written repeated letters and has been ignored. To ignore the request, the official request of any United States senator is unconscionable. Americans have to know what really happened, and we're not getting answers.
Yeah, the senators have asked for videotape. The videotapes be released, of course, what happened in there, and also information as to who knew what and when. That's what Darrell Issa has been asking for. President Obama was asked about this yesterday on a KUSA interview, and here is how the president responded to this latest information.
Were the Americans under attack at the consulate in Benghazi, Libya, denied requests for help during that attack? And is it fair to tell Americans that what happened is under investigation and we'll all find out after the election?
Well, the election has nothing to do with 4 brave Americans getting killed and us wanting to find out exactly what happened. These are folks who served under me that I had sent to some very dangerous places. Nobody wants to find out more what happened than I do. These are our folks, and we're going to find out exactly what happened. But what we're also going to do is make sure that we are identifying those who carried out these terrible attacks.
Hey, Governor, did you hear an answer from the president there? He also said in that interview, quote, nobody wants to find out what happened more than I do. This is 45 days later. Would anyone know more about what happened in the White House in that day and how they responded than the President of the United States?
Well, there's several questions, Peter. When did the President actually get notified? At what time of day or night? What did he do? Did he go back to sleep? Why didn't he cancel his Las Vegas fundraiser and all of his activities? Why did he trot out in the Rose Garden and say something that we now know is fundamentally untrue? Why did his administration, through Susan Rice, Jay Carney, the Secretary of State Hillary Clinton, and the President himself continue for 17 days to say something that they knew, Peter, they knew was not true? And why? Why on earth have we continued to ignore the obvious issues? We have videotape. There was a drone flying overhead. Why was there no attempt to send in some kind of rescue, diversionary tactics? These are simple questions that laymen can ask. I think it's one of the most embarrassing chapters of U.S. history. There are lies, there are cover-ups, and in this case, unlike Watergate, unlike even Bill Clinton and Monica Lewinsky, there are 4 dead Americans as the result. And we absolutely deserve an answer. It's not about the election. I wish this weren't happening so close to an election, because it's easy to say this is just election year politics. This is not. This is really the integrity of the United States government on the line.
And Governor, why do we have to wait until after the election to have these hearings?
Well, because I think that there's a good reason the White House doesn't want all the timeline, all of the information as to who knew what and when did they know it. This goes back to the classic question that was asked during the Watergate hearings that I remember so vividly. What did the president know, and when did he know it? Those are the simple questions that we need answers to.
Well, you choose your words carefully, Governor, and I've watched you for many years and always been a great fan of your stewardship as a public servant. What you said about the president's stewardship in office, in terms of history, that's quite incredible. I mean, you put this in a category that's unique and really unprecedented, especially when comparing it to other so-called impeachable offenses that may have been committed by other presidents in the past.
I have made these comments very carefully. I've made them with calculation. I was the first person, to my knowledge, that ever said we were lied to and there's been a cover-up. And I've stuck by that story, and so far, not one thing has contradicted what I have said from the very beginning. And the reason I said this, because it became obvious this was not about a video, this was not a mob, this was clearly something that was a very targeted attack. Catherine Herridge is on my show this weekend with some, I think, startling revelations about the details of the attack and the emails that were traveling back and forth in real time during the 9 hours of attack that reveal information that I had not heard before. And I am convinced that at some point, senators, even Democratic senators, cannot ignore this. They must begin to demand answers, or all of their credibility is simply out the window.
Governor Huckabee is going to stick around. We're going to talk about